Hello everyone and welcome into Coach Craig's Sports. This is the NBA DFS Core Pick video for Thursday, March 13th. If you're joining me for the very first time, first of all, welcome in. Second of all, this is how today's video will be structured. Let me go over my core picks for both DraftKings and FanDuel. In the morning, I'll be posting out my early morning injury report. It's a 5-game main slate on both sites. I believe there are no teams on the back-to-back, so we will have the injury report for all 10 teams to start off the day, which is pretty exciting there. But I will also be posting all the injury updates that do come out throughout the day, as well as my updated core about 20 to 30 minutes prior to lock, or as those changes do become available. And then last but not least, I will be posting as many of the starting lineups as I can get to down in that comment section as well. So definitely be sure to look out for that as we do get closer to lock. But with that being said, we'll get moved over to DraftKings and talk about my core picks over there. So on the DraftKings side, at the point guard position, we were going to start off with D'Angelo Russell of the Brooklyn Nets. Unfortunately, last time he was in our core picks, it was the back-to-back. I said there was a chance that he might not play, and he ultimately ended up not playing in that game. But for this game, it's not a back-to-back. He goes against the Chicago Bulls. Should be a pretty attractive matchup there. A little bit of a pace-up spot just in general. $5,100, looking for 25, 26 out of him to pay off at 5 times value. Currently averaging 27 fantasy points per game on the season. Currently have him projected for 28, 29 in this matchup overall. Then on the opposite end of that game, we're going to go with Kobe White. You can also play him at small forward if you want to do so, but he's $7,300. Looking for 36, 37 out of him. Averaging about 33 so far in the season. A little bit of a pace down spot versus the Brooklyn Nets, but he's been playing really well as of late and been a usage monster, so definitely do like him once again. Currently have him projected for 39, 40. And then we move down to small forward. This was the last one for me overall on the day. The benefit on FanDuel today is a lot of the guys that look good at power forward, you can also play them at small forward, but on DraftKings, they're only power forward eligible, so that's kind of unfortunate there. So I ultimately end up on Bruce Brown here, $4,000. There's a couple players banged up for the Pelicans, chance that he might start again. If not, get decent-sized minutes at $4,000, only looking for 20 out of him. Currently averaging about 17 so far in the season, but definitely does have some decent upside. Currently I'm projected for about 22. Could definitely have some more upside for that if he gets the minutes or if he's in that starting lineup once again. Then speaking of those power forwards, Cam Johnson was the guy I ultimately ended up on here at $6,100, looking for 30, 31 out of him. And he's currently averaging just over 32 so far in the season. He's been playing extremely well as of late. Pace-up spot versus the Chicago Bulls. Currently, I'm projected for about 37, 38 in this matchup, but definitely could have some strong upside for even more than that. Maybe a little bit downside for less, if his shots are not going down, but he's been playing really well as of late, so I definitely do like him in this matchup overall. And in terms of the other power forwards that look interesting, we got Tobias Harris and Keyshawn George. Both are very attractive options at their respective price tags. Technically, you could play all three together if you really wanted to do so. You can mix and match if you're playing multiple lineups, but definitely a great day for power forward overall on the DraftKings side. Then last but not least, we move down to center, Wendell Carter Jr. He's $4,800. Don't really understand this one. He's been playing decent-sized minutes as of late. There was like one down game in there, but not really too worried about him overall. Looking for 24 out of him, pay off at 5 times value, essentially what he's averaging so far in the season. Goes against the New Orleans Pelicans, who are banged up, especially at that center position right now. Kelly Olynyk's going to be out once again. Missy is banged up at this point in time. He's questionable. We'll see whether or not he plays or not. So you could be looking at some small ball center with Zion. You could be looking at some Mo Bamba. You could be looking at some like Jerome Robinson Earl. Should be a really attractive matchup for him overall. And with all that being said, currently I'm projected for about 28, 29 fantasy points in this matchup overall. But with that being said, if you go with the 5 players that I do have listed here, you have $22,700 remaining, just under $7,600 remaining per player. So a decent amount of money remaining. Could be some potential good values on this slate overall. Otherwise, maybe it's just some of the ones that we do see at least early on in the day. Obviously, injury news will play a big factor in that overall. But with that being said, we can move over to FanDuel and talk about my core picks over there as well. So on the FanDuel side, we're going to start off at the point guard position with Trey Jones of the Chicago Bulls, $5,300. You can also play him at shooting guard if you really want to do so, but I think he's going to fit better in for us. At that point guard position, D'Angelo Russell's still here, but he's $6,100, so a little bit more expensive on the FanDuel side. I like Trey Jones as kind of that cheaper value option on the day overall. Should be in that starting lineup once again. There is like a chance Lonzo Ball could be back, but I don't think they're going to play him at this point in time, honestly. But that could ultimately end up changing this pick, if Trey Jones doesn't end up starting because of that. But at $5,300, if he goes out and gets decent-sized minutes, we're only looking for 26, 27 at him. Currently, I'm projected for 28. He's only averaging about 16.5 so far in the season, but most of the season wasn't starting, was coming off the bench for that Spurs team. And then obviously he was coming off the bench for the Chicago Bulls until they ran into a slew of injuries. Then we move down to shooting guard with his teammate in Kobe White, $7,400, looking for 37 out of him, payoff at 5 times value. Currently averaging just over 31 so far in the season, but he's been doing really, really well as of late. And while it may be a pace down spot versus the Brooklyn Nets, Kobe White's been playing really well as of late, been a usage monster, definitely that main cog for the Bulls team at this point in time. And Nikolai Vucevic kind of seemingly playing limited minutes since his return, so definitely do like the upside of Kobe White once again. Currently having projected for about 38, 39 on the FanDuel side, but definitely could have some strong upside for even more than that. Then we move down to small forward with Cam Johnson of the Brooklyn Nets. So as I mentioned on the DraftKings side, these power forward guys you can play at small forward and power forward on FanDuel, so that makes them a lot more attractive and offers a little bit more flexibility to your lineup overall. Cam Johnson, $6,600, so a little bit more expensive on FanDuel just in general. Looking for 33 out of him. He's been playing really well as of late. Pace up spot versus the Chicago Bulls. Currently having projected for about 37, but definitely has some pretty strong upside for even more than that. Obviously could come with a little bit of downside if his shot's not going down, but at least early on looks like one of the better plays on the slate overall. Then we move down to power forward with Keyshawn George, kind of a guy that I've been liking for a while now, $5,800, looking for 29 out of him, averaging about 21 so far on the season, goes against Detroit Pistons, should be a decent matchup to be had there at the same time as well. One that he did do pretty well in, I believe that was yesterday, and finished with, I believe, 33 fantasy points, which would easily outperform this price tag. Not too much else to be said here. He's been in that starting lineup. He's been playing relatively well. He's getting big minutes. They really want to see what they can get out of this kid. And with that being said, I currently have him projected for 30 FanDuel points. So he looks like a relatively solid, safe value option once again. And then we move down to center with Wendell Carter Jr., $5,400. So he's a little bit more expensive on the FanDuel side, but could have a little bit more upside, if he gets a steal or a block there. But it's truly the matchup that looks really good now at this point in time, going against the New Orleans Pelicans, who are without Kelly Olynyk and potentially use Missy at that center position. So Missy is listed as questionable and Kelly Olynyk's out once again. So you could either get small ball Zion here, you could get Mo Bamba, you could get Jerome Robinson roll at center. So it should be a really attractive matchup for Wendell Carter Jr. just in general. He's been playing pretty well as of late, getting the big size minutes. There was like one kind of down game there, which kind of brought his price tag down a little bit, I would say. But $5,400, you're looking for 27 now. I'm currently averaging just under 24 so far on the season. Obviously, part of the season, he was coming off the bench in favor of Goga Bitadze, but that has really changed as of late. There's been a lot of games where he's playing 30 minutes, so I definitely do like his upside in this matchup overall. Currently, I have him projected for 28, but definitely could have some strong upside for even more than that at the same time as well. But with that being said, if you go with the 5 players that I do have listed here on the FanDuel side, you have $29,500 remaining. Just under $7,400 remaining per player, so a decent amount of money left over. I do expect there to be a couple decent value plays on the FanDuel side as well, so definitely be on the lookout for all those injury updates. Could be a very interesting slate overall for a 5-game main slate. Definitely do like this one just in general. And as always on these smaller slates, feel free to mix and match because it is a good way to get exposure to lots of different players, especially on these slates that are smaller and do have a couple different value options. But with that being said, these are my core picks for FanDuel and DraftKings for Thursday, March 13th. As always, if you have any questions related to NBA DFS, be sure to drop them down in that comment section, and I'll get back to you as quickly as possible. And then once again, in the morning, I'll be having my early morning injury report. No teams on the back-to-back, so we'll have all 10 teams' injury reports starting off the day, which is something that is pretty nice. But I will also be listing all the other injury updates throughout the day, as well as my updated core about 20 to 30 minutes prior to lock. That will be left as a pinned comment. If there's any other additional changes after that point in time, I will leave them as a reply to that pinned comment as well. And then last but not least, I will be posting as many of these starting lineups as I can get to throughout the evening. So definitely on the lookout for that down in the comment section so that you do have the most up-to-date information as possible, especially as we do get closer to lock. But with that being said, if you are brand new to my channel, checking it out for the very first time, or have yet to subscribe, please consider doing so. Definitely would appreciate it. Helps to build the community that we're trying to build here at Coach Craig Sports, which is one that's truly for you, the viewers, helping you with your DFS. Right now, we have NBA DFS in terms of the core picks Tuesday through Friday. Been dropping some NFL draft content as of late, so if that's something you're into, definitely be sure to check that out at the same time as well. And then starting at the end of the month, we'll be posting some UFL and MLB DFS. So if that's something you're into, definitely be sure to check that out as well. Definitely would appreciate any support on all those other videos at the same time as well. And then last but not least, if you're interested in sports betting, if you're interested in prop betting whatsoever, be sure to check out the links and promo codes down in the description below for BetUS, Parlay Play, and Prize Picks. If you're a brand new user on any one of those three sites, when you sign up, make your initial deposit, you will get a first match deposit bonus. For Prize Picks and Parlay Play, it's 100% match up to $100. And then for BetUS, it's 125% match up to $2,000. So some pretty great opportunities to be had out there. If you have any other additional questions related to that whatsoever, feel free to reach out to me, whether it's down in the comment section below or on Twitter at Coach Craig Sport, and be more than happy to help you with that journey as well. But with that being said, that's all that I truly have for today's video. Definitely do appreciate each and every one of you tuning in. Definitely means a lot to me. I hope that each and every one of you have a great rest of your day and some pretty good luck in NBA DFS for Thursday, March 13th.